The buying and selling of vehicles is a process that involves a series of rights and obligations for both parties, the buyer and the seller. So if you are thinking about buying or selling a vehicle, stay until the end of this video because we are going to explain step by step all the legal aspects you need to consider in a vehicle transaction. I am Maria Cervantes, a lawyer and partner at Legaltor, and I am going to explain step by step all the legal obligations you need to consider when buying or selling a vehicle in Spain. The first thing is to have the vehicle's documentation up to date. If you are a seller, you need to have the MOT, the technical sheet, and the mechanical transmission vehicle tax up to date. If you are a buyer, I recommend that you request a report from the traffic department, where you will see any possible liens and embargoes on the vehicle and assess whether its purchase is worthwhile for you. You can request this report yourself or through a management agency or a lawyer. What are your rights as a buyer? First of all, you have the right to receive truthful information about the vehicle regarding its mileage, accident history, and current mechanical condition. Therefore, as a seller, your obligation is to provide the buyer with all this information and ensure that it is accurate and truthful. Now let's move on to the topic of warranties. Whether you buy the car new or used, you have a series of guarantees in one case and protections in the other, which I will explain to you in case the vehicle has problems. Let's start with used vehicles. Used vehicles, if you buy them from a private individual, that is, from one individual to another, do not have a warranty as such. However, as a buyer, you have a 6-month period to make a claim to the seller if the vehicle has hidden defects. What are hidden defects? Any mechanical problem that the vehicle had and that the seller knowingly did not inform you about, that you should have been informed about. To claim those types of defects, such as you have a legal period of 6 months. I recommend that if you find any defects, you should send a burofax which provides proof that you have made a claim within the deadline to avoid future legal problems. Second scenario, if you are a private individual buying a used vehicle from a dealership, a multi-brand dealer that is a professional, the professional must give you a 1-year warranty. And if you are definitely buying a new vehicle, the minimum legal warranty that the brand must absolutely provide is at least 2 years, guaranteed. However, study the market because it is common for many brands to offer you an extended warranty, and it might be more convenient for you to get an extended warranty, which in some cases might cost a little less, or in other cases is free, and that is something you should consider as a buyer. But as a buyer, you also have a series of obligations. The most important one is to pay the price of the vehicle. In this case, you need to be very careful because there are limitations and restrictions on cash payments. If you buy a used vehicle from a private individual, in this case, there is no restriction or cash limit. You can pay any amount in cash. But if you buy from a professional, whether it's a used vehicle or a new one, you have a limit of $1,000. That is to say, if the vehicle costs more than $1,000, you must pay by check, transfer, or some other payment method that is recorded by the bank. In other words, you cannot pay in cash. And it is extremely important that regardless of the payment method, both you as the buyer and the seller keep a proof or receipt of the transaction. Why? Because then, for example, let's think about a fine. If the obligations that I am going to tell you about next are not met, it could result in the fine being attributed to the party that did not commit the offense, due to the vehicle being sold before the driver committed this infraction. And this is not the only obligation that the vehicle buyer indeed has. You are also required to fully complete the transfer of the entire vehicle within a maximum period of 30 days. However, this is not the only communication regarding the sale that the parties need to make. The seller is obligated to inform the traffic department of the vehicle sale in a timely manner, within 10 days. This is a fact that most sellers are unaware of, and it is mandatory. Additionally, it protects the seller from potential fines that may arise if the buyer has not completed the transfer on time. Now then, to complete the transfer, of course, you have to pay taxes to our dear tax office. In this case, if the vehicle is second-hand or used, you have to pay the Model 621 transfer tax here in Andalusia, which depends on the age and emissions of the vehicle and emissions. It usually ranges around 4.1%, but there is a table from the Junta de Andalusia, which I will leave the website link for in the description of this video, where by entering the brand, model, and dates of the vehicle, it tells you exactly how much you have to pay for this tax. But this is not the only tax or fee you have to pay, as you also have to pay the traffic department fees, which, if I'm not mistaken, for the year 2024 cost $55-70 to transfer the car to your name. If the vehicle is new, you do not have to pay the ITP, but you do have to pay a registration tax that depends on the vehicle and especially on the emissions, which can even be fully exempt. It depends a bit on the model. The dealership will inform you about that. And the most important thing is to draft a sales contract that is as accurate as possible, as complete as possible to avoid future problems. I strongly recommend that instead of using a generic model from the internet that won't adapt to your specific case, you contact a lawyer to draft it for you and avoid any problems. Here at Legaltor, we can help you with that kind of paperwork. You already know that we have our website and our contact details, which I will leave in the description of this email. And with all this, we hope you enjoy the process of buying and selling your vehicle in a safe and risk-free manner. And that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, I would really appreciate it if you leave me a like or a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep receiving videos and more updates. I also remind you that we are on social media on Instagram and TikTok, so if you follow us, we would be delighted to help you. I hope to see you in a future video and see you soon. Bye.